we're picking up right where we left off at the end of the stream yesterday. So this is my moon lander, which I have actually renamed the Twitch 4 because it's got 4 Twitch engines. See what I did there? So, and it's on its way to the moon, and it's going to rendezvous with OHC Station, which is in orbit about the moon. I also have the Dart 2, which is an SSTO, which took off last episode. It's in orbit about Kerbin. It needs to make a drift burn to rendezvous with the Minmus Gateway Station, which I know should go to Minmus, but it's actually, we're going to go to the moon from it. I'll explain when we get there. It's just happens to be the vessel that's where it's sitting. But we're on our way to Minmus Gateway Station to pick up a vessel to head off to the moon with the crew that's going to be mining the science from the surface of the moon. And finally, you may or may not have forgotten, but I do have a little note up here at the very, very top. It's gone. I just put this in Kerbal Alarm Clock to fix your relays. I got some relays that ran out of fuel. Despite me making some very, very careful calculations. Sorry, I just heard some... Nope, the music is the right music. And despite some very careful calculations on my part, it ran out of fuel. You will be happy to know my math was right. It was the execution that was wrong, specifically. Interpreting what Kerbal Engineer was telling me in the VAB, I ended up figuring it out. But it wasn't my math. I'm perfectly fine with that. Reality doesn't have to conform to my, mathematical theory. As long as it's right in theory, who cares what else is? But anyway, we do have to send some fuel out that way. So that's what this fix the relays is. And, I'm going to be doing a little more than that. But right now, why don't I get rid of Alarm Clock here. And we got a burn coming up. Not a very big burn. So we're going to turn down the thrust limiter on this because I can see it's only a 1 second burn. 25 seconds is probably a little low. That's good. And yeah, let's get out to the burn. This is just a mid-course correction on our way to the moon. You can see I'm already very close to being on that. And then we'll get to our crew that's also get to our crew ship that's on its way to the moon. And then get some fuel on its way to lots of stuff still going to the moon. So here, I'm going to get this right onto the maneuver node. And I'm going to do this one manually. Let's watch this from the moon. Whoa, we got a lot of orbits and things. Can I? There we go. So just doing a correction so we don't smack into the moon so we can come into our polar orbit. This is our station that we are rendezvousing with right down here. I think I'm coming around the right side of it. Yep, so let's just do this. I don't have to wait for the actual countdown timer. The timing's not that critical for this one. And then we'll have to be doing a little bit of a rendezvous as soon as I'm... And boop, that looks pretty good to me. Yeah, very, very happy with that. We'll open up Alarm Clock. You know, we can get rid of this alarm. Head to a sphere of influence change in 3 hours and 54 minutes. By the way, for those people that do not know, there was an update to Kerbal Space Program. I was stunned. I thought they were done. We are now in 1.12.4. This is still 1.12.3, but the update was mostly about bug fixes. In particular, there are some bugs, this is what reminded me of it, that's associated with the stock alarm clock that I believe may have been addressed, which would be really, really nice, but that's why I keep using this. Okay, anyway, let's get to the Dart 2. Jump to that ship. Alright, so here we are here, and these guys got a burn coming up in 48 minutes. Again, a 1 second burn, so let's tweak these thrust limiters down. Let's see, what does a 25 do for me? 2 second burn. What does a 10 do for me? Or a 12? Split the difference, more or less. 7 second burn. That feels good. Get rid of those, get rid of those. Am I a flour or a corn? I am a corn tortilla kind of guy. All right, let's see. Yeah, we are going to here, so let's do that. Alarm clock. It's cluttering my skies. And we shall close that alarm. And I'm also going to put this on the orbital bit, because that's really what this is about. Lock it onto here. We'll do this one manually as well. This should be... I'm going to just lock it to prograde. This should be pretty much a prograde burn. I'm noticing, and there must have been some sort of an update to scatter, I would assume, but I'm getting more of these kind of little lens flare-y effects off of these lights. I like it. A little more than was there before. Alright, so we still got a few more minutes to go, so let's get there. And here, let's do it. Off we go. Partial throttle. So I'm waiting to see what my intersect distance here is, and then we'll try and minimize that. This should be... There we go. We're getting our close encounter information now. Let's start reducing our throttle here. And let's see what we can do with just RCS after this. 400 meters, 300 meters. Ooh, under 100 meters. Or no, not under 100 meters. I'm sorry, 140-ish meters. Okay. Yeah, fine. We're going to be there in 15 minutes. Let's go, let's go. Actually, I might want to increase this throttle just a little bit again. Let's put this up to, I don't know, 40. I'm just pulling these numbers out of my back end. 40. The thrust limiters. Okay. We are very welcome there, YouTube persona. That marathon series was fun to do. I got to find an excuse to do something like that again sometime. Okay, let's get there. And we'll get to see Minmus Gateway Station, which we've not seen in quite some time. Okay, put that on target and retrograde. So we're coming up here. Where are you? We should be pointing straight. There you are. There you are. Coming at us this way. See if we can close in this encounter down. Let's wait for the rendering to happen. There, we're rendering it now. There we go. It's now been rendered. See if I can close in this distance a little. A little bit of throttle. $50 meters, 40 meters, 30, 20. Oh, that's about it. Put it back on there. Coming within 20 meters. The station's bigger than that, so still got about 32 meters per second of speed to knock off, so I've got to be a little careful. In fact, why don't we do that right now? I like just watching this time and just sort of not letting it get too low or too high. Kind of keeping, you know, my time to between 30 seconds and a minute or so as I kill off this velocity. Cut that. What's our thing? Still got 8 ignitions. Have to remind, who's my... I don't have an engineer in this group. Okay. at some point in the distant future, I'm going to have to remember to do some servicing on these engines. Last thing I need is for them to explode. Though probably the next time they're fired will just be a deorbit burn anyway. I guess maybe it's not that big a deal. Okay, stations coming into view. We'll just bring down our relative velocity. I love the exhaust plumes on those. They look really nice. Oh, that's coming in a little too. Okay, where am I going to park? That's still a minute and something away. There's my ship that I want. That's really what I'm here for. I guess I'm parking here. It's the only free docking port. That's my parking spot. Get back to here. Why'd you spin around on me? That's weird. Set as a target. Okay, I want, let's first off, just slow down a little bit. Oh, this has gone to, there we are. Alright, we're down to a meter per second. I can think now what I'm doing. I want to be above, so that means I think the retrograde needs to be the other way. Yeah, that way. That way. I want to end up above that docking port. It's weird looking at the retrograde vector on the nav ball because it's always sort of backwards. And let's slow down a little bit too. Alright. Let's slow down a little more. There. That's pretty good. Okay. Open up this. And control from here. And spin this all around. And get ready for our docking. Should have, there it is. My docking alignment, navball docking alignment indicator. Which I really, really do appreciate. Makes life nice and easy. Aim our camera here too. There's our prograde. Okay. Generally heading in the right direction, and I think I took some time. I'll check to make sure, but I think it did take some time to make sure that that was all fueled up and filled up with its various resources and all that kind of stuff. Am I building a space station this time? No, I am not. I am just simply taking advantage of a space station I already have. This space station is sort of a staging ground, as it were. I do like... I know people are of different thoughts when it comes to space stations. I personally really do like having space stations, like this space station clearly just in low orbit. Then I have this SSTO that gets up here to low orbit. Then docked with that, I have another ship that we're going to take towards the moon, where there's going to be another station that I'm going to dock with over there, so that I have stations in these key locations that I just, you know, build vessels. I should retract that. That I just build vessels to, you know, zip back and forth between. And the stations also have fuel that I can refuel stuff. But other people are different. They just like the one-off vessels and, you know, they find stations a waste of time, and I appreciate that too. But I'm not building a station, I am using a station. Okay. Closing in. You can see our crew there, Lieutenant Kim, our pilot, Hector, who's also pilot, right? No, I got two scientists, Hector and Makadaji. Come on, get there, that there, boink. There we go. Okay. Oh, and I should toggle off the torque. So we don't get... Always with stations, you want to only have one set of reaction wheels doing all your work for us. Okay, so there we go. We are docked. We can get rid of this too. I think I can just transfer people over. I really do. So let's hatch here. Transfer over Lieutenant Kim. And transfer over Hector. Put the scientists in the back. Lieutenant Kim's going to be by herself. And I guess the hatch is over here. Mac the G. So everybody should be in this vessel now. And then I just want to make sure. I know I thought of filling it up. Liquid fuel, liquid fuel. I think it's all filled up. I can see that. Yeah. So we're going to detach here right away. Actually, maybe not. No, we're going to the moon. We're going to detach right away and head on out. Okay, so oops. Undock. Oh, wait, before I do that, shut down these engines. Just notice those engines were still on. Okay, now undock. Alright, SAS on, RCS on, back away. And I believe I probably have some reaction wheels hiding down in here somewhere. I'm not mistaken. That's a battery. In here, this one? Small inline reaction wheels part. I've had this ship for so long. At the time, those reaction wheels were the only ones that I had. Alright, and just to check resources real quick. Good, good, good. Oh, food's a little on the low side. Ooh, are they good for food? How much food do they have? Supplies. Oh, they got 65 days of food. Okay, they're fine. They are fine. Okay, so we are off to OHC Station. So, it's a little bit weird because we are in a... Here, let's actually take the station bit away. This is our orbit here. We are in a bit of an inclined orbit because this orbit is in the same plane as Minmus's orbit because that's the purpose of the station. So I'm going to have to do a correction on our way to the moon, but we have like almost 2,300 meters per second of delta V, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Set this as target. So I think we'll just kind of leave immediately and just finagle our way there. Focus our view. Of course, our target is again the station right here. But one thing at a time. Focus on the maneuver. A little bit more on the prograde. Oh, a lot more on the prograde department. I'm just noticing where my DV is. This is actually turning into a pretty nice, considering I'm not, I'm a little bit above, but it's not bad. I'm just going to live with that. Now, am I actually... Oh, I'm actually not even going to have to make a super bad plane change. I mean, I'm going to have to make the... You can see the angle between my incoming trajectory and this, but this angle isn't so bad. At least we're coming around the right direction, too. So, yeah, this isn't so bad. All right, so we're going to make this burn. 827. Figure out this engine. How many ignitions on the engines? 21. That's great. It's been serviced by some previous engineer. I do appreciate that. Okay, let's head back. No, this way. Back. There we go. Where's our... Okay, so we're going to do the proper thing of making an avoidance maneuver here. Had a viewer who said, you know, they do this for real. And I'm like, oh, I got to do things for real. So this is going to be a prograde burn. So what you do is you burn yourself the opposite. You put yourself half an orbit from where you're going to do the burn. You orient yourself in the opposite direction of what that burn is going to be. And then you just use a little bit of RCS. That's all you need to do. And then what ends up happening, we'll do some time warping, is I've just raised my Apple axis a little bit, which is going to slow me down. So by the time I get to my burn, this should be behind me. I shouldn't have any worries about running into it, unless I did it completely backwards, which is completely possible too. All right, and then we'll set this burn up, and then we'll actually get into the chat and all that stuff. Yeah, we're not burning. We're going to burn the right way. So let's get KOS going here. Oh my gosh. How do I... Oh, I'm still rendering the station, of course. This one. So run our X-Man maneuver script. Make sure that's at full thrust. It is. Okay, it's going to orient itself. It's going to take care of everything, and I'm going to read the chat. Hello, Dan. Another late evening. I should warn you, Dan, and any other my European viewers or any of the viewers that aren't still participating in the archaic daylight savings time ritual. But this weekend is the time when we, in my side of my end of the world, move our clocks backwards an hour. So if you don't do that, which means that you live in a country with at least some realm of sensibility, then this stream will be an hour later next week. I'll make an announcement on YouTube. I'll make a post on YouTube about that. Well, thank you very much, Howie. I appreciate the feedback. This game is not... I'm going to put this on free, just because it's going to look better. This game is not intuitive by any stretch of the imagination, and it doesn't provide a lot in ways of in-game guidance. So I think, providing external guidance, I think, is vital. I can't even imagine somebody without a background in some sort of a background in physics or space travel or something like that, just picking up this game and completely independently and completely cut off from any kind of a community, actually having a reasonable good time with it. I think this game is heavily dependent on a community of support. Technical support has already moved their clocks back. Sorry, so that got... Yeah, it's... I know, everybody... It's like this few-week period where different places are doing it at different times, and honestly, like... Let's just not do it anymore. Alright, so we are now performing our burn. These folks are on their way. Unfortunately, not a huge thrust-to-weight ratio on this vessel, but great ISP. I'm going to do a little physics warping here. Get away from it. You can see, though, how the station was... we were completely pointing away from the station because of that avoidance maneuver. All my years of playing, I've actually only ever run into my own station once doing something like this, where I wasn't paying any attention, and I think I was probably watching it from map view. And all of a sudden I could see the nav ball tumbling around, and I came back and went, oh, that's what happened. I just drove right into my own station. Now I suppose I should keep track. Here, tuck this over here, because I got a lot of... It's going to be 2 hours. So that guy's... Okay. You can see here, this is the SN2, now crossing a radiation belt. SN2, because the SM1 is actually at OHC Station across around the moon. So we're gonna have both this ship and its sister ship together for maybe the first time. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably there wasn't a reason. I remember a rescue mission where they ended up both together at some point, but it doesn't happen too often. Usually this one's going back and forth between LKO and Minmus, and the other one's going back and forth between LKO and the moon. That was the intent of them anyway. Alright, burn's complete. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's take a look at how things are going around the moon. Do I need to adjust anything. Oh no, I'm perfectly cool with that. So we will do a maneuver out here, set that up, probably perform this maneuver. Well, then again, I'm only 2 hours. Oh, geez. Okay, well, we'll see. I want to get my other build going too, because what we need is more stuff going on. Let's see. We're gonna bring this down. Play with the time a little bit to sort of see the... All I do is look at this and just see what time gets that as low as possible. I think I was pretty close to the right spot as it was. With big time jumps, because... Okay. Down, 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 down. What happens if I do... Might not be worth it. Oh, might be. I learned... I think I can say... this is going to be an experiment. But I think I can save myself... Let's set this as a target. Even though I added a little bit of radial there and probably increased... No probably about it. I think I increased this inclination. I'm going to experiment with... Maybe I should actually maybe do some math and figure this out. But I think... This might be better. Let's... Whoa, I am way too high on the scale here. Oh, that... No, I don't think I'm saving myself. Oh my gosh. I just put in a ton of radial. I was thinking of the idea of... No. I'm... No, I just put in 120 units. Forget it. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me none. What am I going to do? I think I'm going to experiment with the idea. See, I'm going to have to make a plane change, and the best place to make a plane change would be at apoapsis, which is clearly going to be opposite to periapsis, so out here somewhere. But I also should make... I'm going to... Okay. I'll explain it when I get there. I'm not making any sense. Which I never do. And I think it'll make more sense when I get there. So I'm going to stop right now talking. I'm going to put that ascending node right on the orbit here. And I'm going to make my capture. I'm going to experiment with how much this is going to cost. We've got a lot of fuel, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to make my capture here rather than at periapsis. Because then that way this periapsis should end up very close to here. My apoapsis will be really... And then it's all about saving money on the plane change. That's what we're gonna do. There it is. That's it. I'm gonna be quiet now. So this burn's coming up in 1 hour and 9 minutes. Let's do it. Yeah, do it at Apo. I know. Yeah, I'm getting that in the chat. Do it at Apo. You do it at apoapsis after you do your capture. So you leave yourself in a big elliptical orbit. Do it out at apoapsis, but the problem is if I do my capture at periapsis, you can see my periapsis is not where this is. So my descending node won't be at apoapsis, it'll be like down here somewhere, right? Instead of at apoapsis over here. So my goal is to actually do my capture here and hopefully pull that periapsis that way. We'll see if it's... I might be making things way more complicated than it's worth. Here, I'm gonna... This is all good. This is all good. Am I still generating electricity? I am. Okay, let's just do this burn. I'm still 2 hours from the Twitch entering. I do want to get to building a fuel barge before this is all said and done. But one thing at a time. Okay. There we go. Now this is a pure anti-normal burn, so I should be able just to lock on that. Bum, bum, bum. Hello, Rasmith. Welcome, and anybody else that I'm that I'm missing. Okay, so the goal of this, bringing this down to here. Really, the goal is I'm not looking so much at periapsis, but at that. So let's just do it. Again, the time, you don't have to wait for it to get to 0 for these mid-course corrections. The timing isn't that critical. And Yep, I'm okay with that. So what do we got here? How much of a plane change? 35 degrees. That's no big deal. Let's add an alarm for the SOI change, which is coming up in just 3 hours. Open up KOS again. I should just leave this and run my align script for the solar panels. If I can spell align right. This is a silly one that just... hopefully should line up these solar panels nice. Maybe if I put it in orbital, it'll look better. See what it does. Oh no, I did the wrong one. Delete. Run. Takes a parameter for where the solar panel is. And the solar panel is not aligned normally. It's aligned dorsally, so I have to put a D in as a parameter. Let's see what it does here. Of course, I could have just done this by hand in all this time, couldn't I have? See what it does. And it actually takes into account the inclination of the orbit that you're in, so it should... oh, I lost the sun anyway. Oh, the sun just peeked out. You should line this up so this is pointing straight up like that for the sun to catch it. Nice. Okay. Delete that, that. Okay, let's jump over to the Twitch. A little bit of jumping around. We'll get the building soon, I promise. Okay, so we're back here with our moon lander. Just about to cross into the moon's SOI. It's got a little under an hour. Just get through to the plane change here. There we go. All right, so you are, let's focus this on the moon, coming into the same station, but we timed this one so that it doesn't have to make really much of a plane change at all. And I'm noticing I'm coming very close to it just by coinkydink. How many ignitions on this guy? I'm thinking, oh wait, does it have RC? It does have RCS. Let's use RCS. Yes, let's save ignitions and use RCS. So I'm going to point it normally, no, radially inwards. I just want to bring down my periapsis. Well, you can see it. It's underneath the Kerbal engineer stuff. I want to bring down this periapsis just ever so slightly. Oh, and probably radially this way too. Yeah, okay, we'll do both at the same time, or normal like. Okay, let's do it. So I'm going to use just RCS. This will save just like that. And then I want to bring it this way, and using my right hand, that is a positive normal vector. Yeah. I learned a right hand rule in my physics class in high school, and it's actually coming in useful. Okay. So positive normal, and that should bring the periapsis over to the... yeah. And I can tell from where the ascending node is. Once the ascending node is at the periapsis, I am touching the orbit there, and we got a 0.3 inclination difference, which is lovely. All right, let's set up a rendezvous. Even though it's tempting to kind of go for it right here, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to put a maneuver right here, and it's going to be retrograde. And ideally, these guys would move around, but when they don't, just go to your maneuver node and pop it ahead a second till they do move. It just means you need to be just ahead of this little guy. So I have a separation, right click, always end up with all these guys. Separations 494. Let's keep going prograde and get that as low as we can. Oh, that, not prograde, silly, retrograde for capture. Gosh, is it really that complicated, Mike? Come on. There we go. Round and round we go. Can I get another one? Can I make it? Oh my gosh, it's so close. I can. We're going to have a very teeny tiny encounter here, or encounter speed here, which is nice. Can't see it. 3.1. Oh, I'm off somewhere. Okay, that's right. We've got 3... Oh, wait, I'm looking at the... Sorry, I'm looking at the speed. Oh, my gosh. There we go. 0.5 kilometer separation. Our encounter speed will only be 3.1 meters per second. So we're coming in, doing the capture, being in just this slightly different orbit, and then coming around and be nothing to do the actual doobie. But we have the capture coming up in... let's get engineer or... This one should be normal. Okay, let's get back to what I was doing here. Got this burn coming up in an hour and a half. I should put this throttle limiter back up. 14-second burn, sure, we'll live with that. Okay, that's again for the solar panels. An hour and a half? Yeah, let's just do it. Let's do all this. Okay. So quick save. And where's the moon? Where's the moon? There's the moon. Okay. Yeah, because I got this guy's gonna the NERV crew is gonna be here in 2 hours. So we can do an hour and a half. We can get this done. So let's get this done. Oh, we're in the dark. Life's like that sometimes. So, at least it's lit up a little bit. So I'm gonna again let, for the bigger burns, I kind of like you letting KOS deal with it. I got 8 ignitions, so I got to be a little bit cognizant of that. I don't want to be running out of ignitions. And some people might recall from the last stream that I didn't have the waterfall textures for the Cheetah engine, which is this one. But since then, I did install the correct mod, the stock, what is it called? Stock waterfall effects. I didn't have it installed. I messed up. I had the restock. There they are. Look at that. Lovely. I had the restock ones, but not the stock ones. So I messed up there a little bit. And now I got the right plumes going. I think I should have these waterfall plumes on all my engines now. So that looks much, much better than it did last time when it was just the stock plume. Okay, there we go. We have... Oh, I gotta look at my intersect. We have an intersect of 800 meters. I know it can be better than that. So let's see if I use... That's going, making it worse. We'll use RCS here. Oh no, 500 meters. That was, oh, that was about right. That was about right. Okay. Let's see. We are meeting up in 51 minutes. We have to do pretty much a whole orbit. Okay, so the NERV 1's going to be in the moon's SOI before that, so best just deal with that first. So we got an encounter, give me like 5 minutes warning. That's coming up in 50 minutes. Okay, let's jump over to, we're going to do a lot of jumping back and forth. A lot of jumping back and forth around the moon.